Hi, there's another edition of Joy News Interactive with me, Benis Abubedi. There's a lot to talk about today because we know that we may want to call it a reply, but not what a lot of people expect. Former President Rawlings says that Valerie Sawyer is intimidated by his integrity, and that seems to be a reply to her a lengthy opinion she wrote about him. We're also going to be talking about a very disturbing issue. You know, we reported a couple of months ago about MRI and scan machines that are broken down in some of the major hospitals. Well, we know that now that EOCO is probing the matter. We need to find out, why is it so? Why is it happening this way? And I know a lot of you have experiences like that, or experiences of a friend that you may want to share. And I will also be talking about that one. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Real Madrid. That's the team for the season, isn't it? Well, we'll be talking about that and the fact that PK has been saying that he felt inferior after that defeat. Well, we've been asking Barcelona fans whether you feel the same. Get onto Facebook. These issues are posted there. Do well to leave your comments in the comments section. Let's talk about this reply from former President Rawlings to Valerie Sawyer. That story is actually on my Joy Online, and I'll just read a bit of it to you. It says, former President Rawlings has finally responded to Valerie Sawyer for attacking him, describing her as a person without integrity who should be ignored. The former Deputy Chief of Staff criticized the founder of the National Democratic Congress over what she described as demonizing comments he made against the current leadership of the NDC. Now, in an article, she accused Mr. Rawlings of still flogging a dead horse, although they are in opposition. In a rebuttal to these barbs, however, former President Rawlings said such unprovoked attacks on his personality could only be from persons without integrity. So, well, we've been picking your comments on that on Facebook. And like I mentioned, quite a number of people think this is not the boom that we usually see. And even though, well, we've had a reply, people think that's not the kind of reply we're expecting. Is this what you were expecting? Well, tell us and let us know what you think about that particular response from former President Jerry John Rawlings to Dr. Valerie Sawyer. Let's get onto Facebook now and pick some of your comments on this particular issue. Well, so we'll be getting your comments shortly. While we wait for that, okay, I think it's ready now. We can go quickly to get your comments. Zaid Link says, yes, because you're too arrogant. You've got no integrity. We are tired of you. You keep intimidating John Mahama and your party faithfuls, but they ignore you because of your arrogance. So, well, Zaid says, well, he doesn't think it's a thing of integrity. He thinks former President Rawlings is arrogant. And let's see that reply. Emmanuel Nikam says, Zaid, how old are you? And says, well, he refers to him as a little chicken. Says, you don't respect your elders. He says, may God forgive you. Victor Ampong says, don't let them drag you down. As a true Ghanaian, if you're in agreement with the current administration, wholeheartedly support them and disregard the noise people are making. Alex Stacy Smith laughs and says, tell this to the dogs, because integrity you have none, but only in spoken word. So Alex thinks that former President Rawlings, don't start talking about integrity. That's according to Alex. And Godwin Sapong is actually laughing at that. I don't know if he's laughing at Dr. Valerie Sawyer or laughing at the comment made by the former president. Now let's move on and speak about a pressing issue. Now, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, has launched investigations into how our MRI and CT scan machines at 5 major government hospitals have become non-functional for extended lengths of time. Health Minister Kwekwaji Maminu revealed EOCO is probing the contractors that installed the machines at the hospitals. The minister said initial investigations have revealed that the non-functional machines have been reported across the country. Now, he says that this situation is unfortunate because the machines were purchased with very big loans. And so the unfortunate thing is that these cases are being reported in some major hospitals across the country. 5 we are hearing for now. But Victor Ampong says, well, these are some of the reasons why government contracts shouldn't just be given anyhow. Schemes from the top, middle and bottom. So when something go wrong, there's a cover-up. He actually thinks that people scheme and says we should pray that things are done the proper way this time. Samuel Safu Boateng says that, well, he thinks that doctors break them down so they can refer patients to their private hospital. Well, that's an allegation made by quite a number of people, especially when this issue broke up sometime this year. But that's why EOCO is investigating. If really that is the case, then some people have a lot of questions to answer. Dovi Edem Komla says, so why is it the job of EOCO to probe breakdown of a machine? He's asking. Atedepe Hope says, you can take me to this machine to scan my immune system. Actually referring to the machine that came along with the story on myjoyonline.com. Edward Edu says, we need more. I don't know if he's talking about more investigations or more of such machines. And Alfred Kwesi Ahring thinks, look, this is long overdue. You should have done this a long time ago. But well, better late than never, isn't it? At least we get to know what's happening with these machines and probably get them fixed so that we can have people who can go there when they need them and not have to pay for these services at a higher cost, especially when you go to a private hospital, when you're referred to, you know, another private health center that offers that particular service. Well, let's still stay on some health-related issues. The Food and Drugs Authority has banned the sale of products that contain a chemical mostly found in body bleach and creams. The increase in the sale of such creams, well, has become a public health concern, with many health practitioners warning against usage. Speaking before the Public Accounts Committee hearing in Parliament on Wednesday, the acting chief executive of the Food and Drugs Authority, Mimi Darko, said they were also using laboratory tests to identify such creams. Now, we've heard that these creams were banned as far as in January, but a lot of people claim that they see some of these creams on the market. So Chris Ribwabwonsu says there are important things too. They should check not only the cosmetics area, but what about the food we eat. He's also talking about plastic rice issues and all that. And that has also become a matter of public health concern. And we've seen a lot of videos break out on social media. People have been, you know, talking about the fact that they've experienced varieties of rice that they're usually not used to, and so suspect it could be plastic rice. We've seen a lot of those comments there. I'll be back quickly to take your comments while we try to solve this one here. But we'll take a quick break. When we come back, guess what? Zambian President Edgar Lungu on Tuesday announced that the legislation of HIV testing and treatment in all hospitals without informed consent of patients. He made the announcement during the inaugural launch of an HIV campaign in the capital, Lusaka. We'll be telling you more whether or not you don't mind if you go to the hospital and an HIV test is done on you without your consent. Thank you for staying here on Joy News Interactive. Before I pick your comments on this issue that's gone viral on social media about the fact that people in Zambia will now be tested for HIV without their consent, let's hear what some of you are saying about what's happening right here in Ghana that has to do with MRI and CT scan machines that have not been working in 5 major government hospitals. Let's hear what you're saying about that. Chris Sebobwonsu says there are important things too. They should check not only cosmetics area, but what about the food we eat and those plastic rice? Okay, so this is actually on the fact that the FDA says they've banned some cosmetic items or cosmetic products that contain a bleaching ingredient. And well, you've been commenting on that. Douglas Asare says one after the other. He's actually replying to Chris that, you know what, just take it one step at a time. They've banned the bleaching products, and maybe who knows next they'll be focusing on this whole information about plastic rice on the market. Glory Mensa says that plastic rice and fish thing isn't real. We have regulations at the various ports to license your products before shipping. And besides, there must be a warehouse in the country you're sent to be able to sell ordinary customers, and this isn't real. Okay, so he thinks that, you know what, don't let us focus on this plastic rice issue. Quickly, Glory Mensa again comes to talk about the substantive matter, says, better before diabetes kills almost all our women in their old age. It is medically proven that ladies who bleach contract diabetes more than those who don't. Okay, I cannot verify this, so quickly we'll skip it. Basha promises it's good, though, but what will our bleaching ladies do then? Oh, FDA. He actually sounds quite disturbed that it's been banned. I don't know why. Well, he says he saw one lady. Okay, he actually thinks that bleaching was nothing like he's seen before. And okay. And now Odai says, very good. FDA, chop kisses. Why bleaching everywhere? What are you trying to tell God? That he didn't create you? Well, I use common shea butter. It's not expensive and it's affordable and natural. Remember, it doesn't smell like some of you say. Okay, so she's taking the opportunity to promote our very own local product here in Ghana, shea butter. Pakwesi Joe says it's very good, referring to the ban by the FDA. But how can you find them and arrest them if they smuggle, you know, these products into the market, onto the market? And I think that's something the FDA should also focus on. Even some local women have their own mixtures, exactly. So I suggest they place a ban on bleaching rather. Interesting. But then how would you verify if someone is bleaching? A very, very interesting perspective. But Pakwesi thinks, you know what, the bleaching cream thing, don't ban it because people can mix their own things. Just ban bleaching. If you see a woman who's bleached, it should be against the law. And Mawulom Caleb Brown says, I think we must be serious as Ghanaians. When these things were brought back those days, we saw nothing wrong with it. Not until they appeared before the accounts committees, a step in the right direction. But we should be proactive and not reactive. So that'll be about it for bleaching creams and the ban by the FDA. Let's focus on this, not here in Ghana, but Zambian President Edgar Lungu on Tuesday announced the legislation of HIV testing and treatment in all hospitals without the consent of patients. Now, he made the announcement during the inaugural launch of an HIV campaign in the capital, Lusaka. And government is pushing to fulfill its agenda of ending AIDS by 2030. Laws in many countries offer rights to adults to refuse medical testing or treatment for any reason. But this president thinks, you know what, I actually want to do this. And we'll be picking your comments shortly on that. And if you're someone who's been watching this show by now, you should know that I'm a Real Madrid fan, so I'm very happy. But I have some form of sympathy for Barcelona, the team and the fans, because PK says that he actually feels inferior about all that's happened. And this loss, I mean, it's a big deal for Barcelona because Barcelona is a good team. I totally agree with that. So we put up a question on Facebook finding out if you also feel like PK feels. Let's hear what you have to say. And it's in response to what PK has been saying. He feels inferior by that loss. And we've been asking the Barca fans on Facebook whether they feel the same. Philip Ahuma says, it's like Barcelona is going through a psychological trauma after the exit of Neymar. They should focus and come back or GCB will take over. Really? I can't believe this. Wow, interesting. Isaac Nana James says, I'm a diehard Barca fan and these are the inferior players we need to lay off. Okay, so Isaac thinks, you know what, if PK feels inferior, it's because they're inferior players in the team and they have to go. So he mentions PK's name, Testegen, Gomez. You know, my director is actually called Gomez and he's also a Barca fan. Dennis Suarez, Jordi Alba, Mascherano. Okay, hashtag reinforcement. He thinks it's time to get the team working again. Mark Labiadri says, he said it all. I don't remember the last time a team gave Barca a hideout like this. There was no link play from defense to midfield, and from midfield to attack is worse. Oh, Kaiko says, Selassie GH don't cover. Do you guys have chisel mouth screwdriver? I hope you can now realize Neymar's role when you were thinking about only Messi. It's a good thing Neymar has left. Yao Graham says, the current Barca team has aged. The management had no better succession plan for the team. The bench is very bad and they never worked on getting better players after the president destroyed the academy. Interesting, when bad things happen, how people, you know, start saying lots of things. Says, how do you let go of players like Thiago Alcantara, who could have replaced Xavi? Okay. Ben Ametowodo says, no, it's football. Anything is possible. We are still Barcelona. So he doesn't feel inferior. You know, it's football. It's a game of chance, isn't it? Amos K says, he felt inferior when Cristiano Ronaldo humiliated him for the second goal. And James Kumbeni laughs and says, I predict Madrid La Liga winners again. Atidepe hope, Siani. Well, James, I think it's too early. Let's just take it easy. I'm a Real Madrid fan, but I think, you know, Charlie, let's just take it easy, one step at a time. And this one says, no, inferiority complex is what he should work on, referring to PK. Nia Blow says, you ain't seen nothing yet, referring to Barcelona. Ransford says, why not? They will really feel. Hashtag Hala Madrid. And Osman Hakim says, Barca should not depend on individual players. This has always been my argument, guys. I think Barca builds the team too much around people, and that's what happens. You know, when you have a team, even when your best doesn't show up, because yesterday we didn't have Cristiano Ronaldo, Gareth didn't show up, you know, but they were able to deal with Barcelona. Banding Dong Toko says, please, Eric Kumi, can you answer this question? I'm sure Eric is a Barcelona fan, actually tagging him there. And Musa Wumpini laughs and says, Dennis Dorwart says, then why does he play himself? Okay. Interesting comments there about that particular match. I don't know what you think. It's going to be an interesting season, I think, looking even at the English Premier League and all that's been happening. Massive opening to the league. I think that this season is going to be one to watch out, and fingers crossed. Let's see how it turns out today.